I can't believe more people don't know about this. Decentralized finance literally is leveling the playing field for anyone who wants to be wealthy. And that's a key word, wants to be wealthy. Building wealth with crypto is more accessible than ever. And a huge part of building wealth is having access to liquidity, owning assets, owning property, and being a digital asset treasury company of your own. Now, that doesn't require you to become some corporation. It simply requires you to have the crypto literacy skills and understanding that all of the financial assets and tools and tricks of the banks are now at our fingertips as retail investors. Let's say I find this gem of a altcoin and I want to buy it. However, money's a little tight. I'm a little cash poor. Maybe I'm heavy on Bitcoin position. I don't want to sell my Bitcoin. But man, if I could just carve off a little bit of it and buy more of this altcoin that I think is going to 5 or 10x. And I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's accretive from here, and I think the altcoin can be accretive. So that scenario, that hypothetical, what do? Do you sell your Bitcoin? Well, that's kind of rotten. Then I'll have to deal with all of that. And I believe in Bitcoin. Maybe you have a no selling Bitcoin philosophy like many people do, but you want to use the value of Bitcoin. You want to use that value in the marketplace to be more productive, right? That's where decentralized finance comes into play. We're able to lend and borrow within a matter of moments without going into underwriting, without inspections, without giving your blood type to the underwriter, without having to show proof of income. This is a world where it's trustless, and that's a beautiful term. The only thing that matters is, do you have collateral? And in my hypothetical, we do. I currently have about $3,055 of Bitcoin in my hypothetical, in my demo hypothetical wallet, my hot wallet, that I have attached here to one of the most trustworthy decentralized protocols on the planet called Aave. Aave has a list of markets, as do many of its competitors, and I can go in and I can borrow against my Bitcoin. Now, Coinbase, the central exchange, has CBBTC, which is simply Bitcoin, the 1-to-1 ratio of Bitcoin, in the form of a token on the Base blockchain. So I've sent my $3,055 to my hot wallet that I have connected to Aave here, and now I can simply go here to the CBBTC market, where I will earn 0.06% for supplying this token, but I'm not in it for this APY. I'm in it for the ability to actually provide collateral. Collateral that I can then borrow against without having to sell my Bitcoin and incur capital gains. So I simply hit supply, and I will max out my supply around $3,055. I'll earn a little dinky percentage here. You can get much better supply percentages elsewhere, but I'm not here for that. I'm here for the low borrow percentage. I'm going to hit approve, and I'm going to facilitate this supply with Aave. Once it approves the contract, I'll be able to actually execute it the second time. Now that contract is approved, I hit supply, and I do it one final time. And voila. Now, I've supplied my 0.032 whatever Bitcoin, and now I can collateralize it, which is the fun part. You can see on the right-hand side of the column, it says assets to borrow. Now, it just so happens that the asset that I want to buy, the little altcoin that's high risk, high reward, is on the Ethereum blockchain. So I can come over here and I can actually borrow my desired token. And once I've followed the prompts, I now have 0.650, the borrowed Ethereum that I asked for in my wallet. Now, the Ethereum's on the Base chain. I need it to be on the Ethereum chain, so I'll simply send it back to Coinbase, where I can then send it back to myself on the Ethereum network at a much lower fee than trying to bridge it from using a decentralized bridge. And now I have the Ethereum that I borrowed against my Bitcoin, which is still going to go up in value, while I can get liquidity and have access to a high beta, high risk, high reward altcoin that could 5 to 10x and really dwarf the gains that I would have had just sitting in Bitcoin by itself. Order submitted. I now have 29,685 more of these ENX tokens. Not financial advice, nor is this a shill. It's simply a demonstration so that you can know that if you need access to liquidity and you don't want to pull more out of your bank account, you want to use the value of some assets or some property that you already own, decentralized finance is the way to go. Like and follow for more.